Not knowing that they are about to discover a time machine, a group of friends find a video from years ago, where they come across a strange little detail. One of them decides to go back in time and change things, only to find that changing the past comes with consequences. The movie begins with a group of friends filming a video for David Raskin. David, who was trying to get into the MIT Physics Fellowship program, had built a drone that he could control with motion sensors on his bare hands. The video they were filming was so that David could showcase his skills to MIT, which would then guarantee his admission into the university. David instructs his friends, Adam and Quinn, to start the drone, while Christina, his sister, records them. He then tells them to cut off the power and uses the motion sensors on his hands to manipulate the drone. As the drone goes high up in the sky, David suddenly gets a phone call that interrupts the Wi-Fi connection, causing the drone to lose signal and crash to the ground. 37 days later, Christina records David's daily ritual of checking the mailbox for a letter from MIT. As David begins dancing, Christina rushes downstairs to open the letter with her brother. The four friends gather in the living room, along with David and Christina's mother, to read the letter. David opens it and begins reading. He suddenly reads out loud that he has been accepted into MIT. However, their celebration soon comes to a halt when he notices that MIT had only awarded him $5,000 of financial aid rather than the $40,000 that he had asked for. The next day, David goes to school and his friends try to come up with ideas that might make MIT give him the full scholarship. David brushes off their ideas and goes home. When he gets there, he notices a for sale sign outside his house. His mother tells him that she is selling the house so that they can pay for his university. He immediately shuts down the idea, but his mother had made up her mind and refuses to listen to him. Later that day, David goes up to the attic to search for one of his father's inventions that he could use to impress MIT and possibly get full funding. Just then, his sister joins him and she finds a camera hidden there. The two of them go through the footage and find a video from David's 7th birthday. That night, David watches the video on his computer when he notices a strange reflection in the back. He quickly realizes that the reflection is of his grown self. Confused, David calls his friends and Christina to watch the video with him. Christina refuses to believe his wild theory and tells him that it could be a family member of theirs that shared his looks with David. However, David points out that he is wearing the same shirt as the David they were seeing in the video. The next day in school, he continues talking about it with his friends. As Christina joins him and his friends, he points at a blue stain on his shirt in the video and a ballerina keychain. This is when he opens his bag to check if he has a similar keychain and notices that his bag had been swapped with a girl named Jessie. He goes up to her and tries to talk to her, but he's too nervous and only manages to return the bag without making conversation. After school, Adam and Quinn join David at his home again and he tries to stand in the same location as the video. The group figures that he was trying to enter the basement and go down. They find it filled with his father's things and David starts exploring it. Quinn begins turning the lights on and off when they hear a clicking sound. David discovers that it is coming from a panel underneath them and opens it. They take a box out and open it to find a strange device inside. They also find research on teleportation and Adam tells them that this is a time machine. David's friends propose that they should build a time machine since the video indicates that they might have already built it. A few days later, Christina accompanies the boys as they shop for materials to build the time machine. They follow the blueprints left by his father and manage to build the machine. They turn it on, but all of a sudden, the circuit explodes and the machine shuts down. The boys continue working on making the time machine perfect as Christina films everything. One day, while working on the machine, Quinn accidentally turns on the machine, caching the tools to start flying. Quinn's hand begins to shake when the device explodes again, causing a blue liquid to spray on David. The stain on his shirt matches the one they had seen in the video. Adam tells the group that they need hydrogen for the device to work, and to get hydrogen, they need a permit. David tells them that he has an idea and takes everyone to school. They break in and steal hydrogen from the storage room before leaving. The group gets the device running again and tries to test it using a toy car and sending it into the past. They start the device but nothing happens. They restart it again and it works this time. Tools begin floating on the table but the batteries explode again. Adam suggests that they should take a break and join the party next door instead. Quinn tells them that they need a stronger battery for the device to work. David then has an idea and gets Jessie, who is going to the party, to park her car near their garage. They use her car batteries to activate the machine. Tools start floating once again. All of a sudden, Jessie begins knocking on their door and enters the basement. She asks David what is going on, but he does not have time to answer her as the toy car disappears from its spot. This causes the lights to go out in the block. As the lights come back on, they notice that the car is embedded in a car and the stopwatch on the car says that the car went back 2 hours in time. The next morning, David works on reducing the size of the machine so that it can fit in a backpack. Jessie confronts the group in school and asks them what they are planning to do next. David tells her that they need to first test the device on a living organism like puppies. All of a sudden, he notices her keychain and it is the same one that he was holding in the video. Later that evening, Jessie tells him that they should test the machine on their own since the video is proof that the machine was successful. That night, the group gathers in an empty parking lot and activates the machine. Suddenly, they are teleported to one day in the past. As all of them open their eyes, they find themselves in the same parking lot, but the car parked near them was not there. Then, they go to Quinn's house and watch him sleep. Quinn goes up to his past self and draws a smiley face on his neck. As he is doing so, the face appears on his neck as well. Just then, the past Quinn begins waking up and notices all of them in front of him. This causes both of the Quinns to start fading. David grabs the future Quinn and all of them rush out of the house. They notice a dog following them just as they activate the device again. Once they are back in the present time, they take the dog back with them. On their way home, Jessie notices missing dog flyers all over the street. David realizes that they had changed reality. David tells the group the next day that the machine only goes back 3 weeks in time. Jessie tells the group that there are still things that they could change if they travel a few days back in the past. They first go back in the past and help Quinn with passing his chemistry quiz. Next, they time travel and help Christina overcome her bullying problem. After that, they try to save their house by winning a lottery through cheating. They find that they have won a large amount of money. David gives that money to his mother and manages to save this house from being sold. A few weeks later, David works on making the machine travel back 10 years. Jessie joins him in the basement. The two of them flirt. He tells her that he is trying to save his father by preventing the accident from happening. The next morning, Quinn brings food trucks to the school and starts a huge party in school. Afterward, the group gathers under the bleachers and David tests the machine again by going back 3 months. They end up at a concert and party for 9 hours. While they are at the concert, David misses a clue that Jessie was giving him to kiss her. When they travel back to the present time, they discover that they had only been gone for 41 seconds. During lunch, Christina tells them that ever since they got back, her bully had been acting like they were best friends. Jessie, on the other hand, begins avoiding David. To fix things, he time travels back and kisses her to make things right. In the present time, David and Jessie get into a relationship again. In the morning, David meets his mother who has the same conversation with him that she had when he found he got into MIT. When he gets to school, everything is off. David meets with Adam and Quinn who tell him that they had changed something causing the reality to change. They show him crimes around the world that they think were caused by them. Everyone agrees that they need to go back to the concert night and change things. David realizes that if they travel back, Jessie will forget everything that happened to them. He disagrees with the group and later that night, he sneaks out to fix things. At that time, Adam shows up and he tells him that everything was because of him. He confesses that he had traveled back alone, which altered reality. Before Adam can stop him, David travels back to the night when they used Jessie's car batteries. The scene changes to David being back in his room when Christine enters his room and tells her that they have to go. They go to a hospital where he finds an unconscious Adam sleeping in the hospital bed. Quinn tells him that they can time travel to fix things, but David feels confused. He rushes back to the basement and tries to figure out the timeline for the events. Once again, he activates the time machine, but all of a sudden, Jessie appears in the basement and asks him where he is going. He accidentally travels with Jessie. He confesses that he had altered things during the concert. The two of them get into an argument when the past Jessie appears behind them, causing both Jessies to disappear. He tries to fix things by time traveling again, but he finds that he is out of hydrogen and cannot travel back. The scene cuts to David back at his house. Quinn enters his house and tells him that Jessie is missing. Just then, the police appear outside and announce that they are looking for David Raskin. Before he leaves, David tells Quinn that he needs to go back to the beginning and destroy the machine before they ruin everything. David starts running away from the police who are looking for him and enters the school to steal hydrogen. He finds it and time travels back to 2004. He goes to his house where it is his 7th birthday party. He goes into the basement where he finds his father working on the time machine. When his father turns around, he recognizes him. David tells his father that he cannot tell him anything or it will change everything. The time changes back to Christina and David in the attic. The movie ends with him giving Jessie the backpack back. If you liked the video, make sure you smash that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications to help the channel out. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.